Hey, welcome to another review. It's been a while. I don't get a chance to do it often, but I'm going to try to get this one in because I'm sure a lot of people are interested. If you hear some click-clack, that's my dog's toes on the floor. Sorry, I gotta just get this, keep going. Anyways, this is um, this is the Yema Superman Heritage GMT. This is Pepsi Bezel, red and blue, whatever you want to call it. It's a Gnomon exclusive. It's limited edition, and they only made about 100 of these, so it's a legit limited edition. And this one is number, if you can see it, it's number 92 out of 100. So button of production, and this is a great watch. As some of you have seen some recent Yema Superman videos. There's various variations on this model. They're quite nice. 39 millimeters, very wearable. Top to bottom, it's around 13 millimeters up to that crystal, but you really have a reduction in size because of the way this case is mid case is divided. You know, you got this really thin mid case here, and then you got this center section, which I guess is part of the bezel here, and some other parts, the case back too. So it's, you know, it's when it's divided like this, it really lends to a thinner watch. And lug to lug is, I gotta check again. I'm sorry. I think it's probably close to around 49 millimeters, if I recall, maybe 48. It's not actually that long, but because of the way the lugs are done here, like the way it's not integrated, though it looks like that, which is kind of a cool feature, but you know, this female part doesn't bend that much, so it kind of extends out a bit, almost like a fixed male lug-in, if you know what I mean. But you know, as long as your wrist isn't too skinny, it should be fine, because it just naturally just kind of pulls down pretty much immediately and drapes over. It's got this nice case shape that's unique to this design. Unidirectional rotating bezel, and you don't have to unscrew it all the way. Just like I just do like one rotation. It's still sealed actually, but it's usually enough to just get this going, you know, because if you go all the way, you know, you can break the seal. That's not a big deal. Here, see, and if you can hear that, I can try to get this back in focus. It's very little back play, and I wouldn't consider it really back play when it basically backs into the position that you want. Say, of course, at the 12, I think it's, you know, it's aligned, and this is a trademark bezel lock. When you screw down the crown all the way, this pushes it in and clamps down here. These teeth go right into these notches, I guess, that are around the case, the grip, and that just holds it down. Similar to, you know, the glycine Airmans. They have like a crown here that locks down the bezel as well, because those are actually bidirectional rotating. And the reason why they have this is the original model, I believe, of the Yema Superman was bidirectional, and then you lock it down and you make sure it doesn't go anywhere. It's a little bit redundant in this, you know, on these newer models with the unidirectional rotating bezel, but it locks it down for sure, so it won't rotate it at all, and it's a trademark feature. Some people have asked, like, can you remove it? And I believe you can. It's just a loose piece, really. Once you unscrew the crown, you know, if you open this case back, you know, I'm sure there's a way you pop the crown out and you can just take this off and close it without it. But I don't know. That's a feature of this design, and it seems kind of silly to remove it, even though you may not like it for some reason. Then you maybe should look somewhere else. They do have a GMT model that does not have, it's actually a little bit newer than this, that does not have that, and they use a sapphire insert instead of this aluminum. And this is definitely aluminum. You can see it's even engraved. You can see the numbers, and it's actually lumed as well, which is pretty cool. I don't like that. I produce, especially with the GMT, like a red and blue, the aluminum is the way to go. It just has this particular sheen and tone of color that the ceramics just very. I've never seen one that truly replicates it, at least not all the way. What was I gonna say? It is a 19 millimeter lug width, so some people will bitch and gripe about that, but you know, 19 millimeters is not that uncommon if you think about it. For me, at least, having a number of, not a whole lot, but all the vintage watches I have, they're 19 millimeter lugs, and it's, you know, I think it's more common than the uncommon 20 millimeter lug width. But you know, if you got 20 in straps, 20 millimeter straps rather, they will just squeeze right in. Not that big a deal for the most part. So you know, if you got 20 millimeter straps, you can definitely reuse them. And if you use curved spring bars that are give a little bit more, you know, surface area for it to kind of fit within. If it was straight, it's tighter, you know, but with the curved spring bar, it kind of has some give to kind of fit in there. The case back is pretty simple. It's you know, it's got a nice the shield, the Yema logo engraved on the back. Will get wear on it, and I've only put this against my skin, and you know, even NATO straps, as secure as you think they are, can add to that, and I think some of this wear is from that. But you know, this watch is actually one of my favorites, and you can see it's limited edition here, the 92 of 100, and yeah, if you wear it, it's going to get scratches, but I try to take care of them, and but some places inevitable will have them. Considering the back, this clasp isn't even all that scratched up that badly. This is very fine. You can't even feel it, you know. It's surface marks. You can probably just brush it out if you want it, but this tool watch it should be like that. And this is what's cool about this is I like the satin brush finish throughout. There's practically no high polish, and I like that usually more. If I want high polish, maybe it might be on the sides or like on a chamfered edge or something, chamfered beveled edge between you know, sides surfaces, but it doesn't have that in this case, and that's fine. I kind of think it looks sleeker and more tooly this way. What can I say here? I like how the, you know, this is a familiar kind of Rolex style, right, of a dial, at least with the triangle, the circles, and the baton markers there, and so forth, right? But I think that's all right. It's a nice standard, you know, kind of dive style, and the GMT hand is kind of neat. I like the fact that it's actually black from the end right here in the rather the center section, so that the triangle actually for the most part looks like it's just floating there from most angles. And even though the dial is matte and that hand is actually got a little bit more of a shine to it, it just blends right in for a lot of times, and you just see like a red triangle floating. It's kind of cool. Kind of keeps it cleaner. You don't have this line, this another extra line of or hand, you know, full handset that's running across the dial, you know. So it's cleaner that way, and it's nice and simple too. It's just a logo, the model, Superman, GMT, and automatic 990 feet. And yeah, signed crown, drill lug holes. Always appreciate that. And this is a very nice H-link style bracelet. I like the way that it flares out and meets the case, right? It just continues to form, and it just makes it more sleek. And in a way, it just gives it that kind of you know, integrated bracelet look, like some people like with you know, the AP, Royal Oak. What else is there? IWC Engineer, Gerard Perregaux, Laureato, right, and so forth. Just that smooth, blended, integrated lug look, and that's kind of neat for this. I can't think of too many GMT watches that actually kind of sport this kind of design style, and it tapers really nicely from my guess is that's 2019. This is probably 23, 24. Right, 2019. Well, maybe it is 22. But anyways, this gets down to about 16 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a nice taper. Yeah, the clasp is simple, nothing special, pretty standard affair. And it does have a dive extension, but I think it works, and I don't mind just a simple lock like that. It's actually really easy to work, and it's always secure. Never had any issues. What can I say about this? The Lume is not bad. It glows green. My guess is that it's C1. I don't think it's C3, but it's potent enough, and it lasts throughout the night. To well-adjusted eyes in the dark, got me through the morning. Even the GMT bezel looms up throughout the night, but because of how fine they are, once it dims and it kind of stays steady through the night, that dim level, it does make it hard to read because it's not particularly strong. It's so fine. You only get, I mean, for at least my eyesight, I only get like a hint of what, you know, that there is something there, not necessarily legible numbers. But that being said, I mean, those dots actually show up a little bit more. That being said, in combination with using the GMT that was also loomed, if you wanted to read it in the dark, you probably have just enough information to be able to see it in the dark. You know, you can get, you know, if you're familiar with the 24-hour bezel, you're going to know where this triangle lies in between, even though you can't necessarily read it, but you got enough orientation with the triangles and stuff, and it's not really an issue. What else can I say? It's been running pretty accurate. I think +4, maybe +6 seconds a day on average for my usage. So that's pretty accurate enough. It's running on a Swiss ETA 28. I said 2832. 28. I always forget the numbers. The real common one that everyone has, 2824-2023-2. I think that's what it is. It's not a Salida. I'm pretty sure it's a Swiss ETA as far as I think according to Gnomon's website that they say that it uses. So I'm going to roll with that. So it's pretty easily serviceable. Comes in a decent box here with the French colors. You know, warranty booklet, extra links are in here that I took out. That's pretty much it. And if you want to see how this looks like on my wristwatch check real quickly, this actually just came in. This is one of those new Seiko 5 40 millimeter you know, bezel-less or, you know, smooth bezel watches, and this is a I don't even know what the model number is. There's two different model numbers. The one that I've originally looked up, I believe, is SPBE 65K1. At least that's the international model. I forget what the Japan model is, which I believe this one is. They're basically the same, but I think the only difference might be the international model has Roman numbers for the day instead of you know, English and kanji. It has English and Romans, if I'm not mistaken. But I really like this because of the this olive dial, olive green. It's just the right kind of olive military green, that drab color that I like. And the ones that come in the NATOs also have that nice brushed bezel, which I prefer instead of the high polish which you get on the other models that are on the bracelet. I have a bracelet, Uncle Seiko, that should be adaptable to this according to some other people and what he said. I've already fitted for another watch, so if it doesn't fit as is, I may just get another set of end links just for this one to get it to fit, and it should be fine. It's an Uncle Seiko Holzer, Holzer bracelet. It's made for the Omega Speedmasters, but you can get the 1920 millimeter size for the lug end link piece. They're hollow, but that's why they're adjustable and that's why they're adaptable, and it looks pretty good. So, and I have no doubt if I needed to find the factory one, that comes on the bracelet version, or probably I'm sure there's plenty of other parties will make it like strap code or whatever. It won't be an issue trying to find it another bracelet to match this. But this is it comes with on the matching olive drab needle strap. Very cool. But that's not about this watch. It's about the Yema GMT here, which I should probably wrap up pretty soon. I'm just going to show this on wrist real quick. It's not dark enough for me to show it to you a Lume shot, unfortunately. I'll try to put up a picture right about here just to show you what it should look like in the dark. This is a cue for me to throw in an image here later on when I edit this video. But here it is on my 6.875 inch wrist, just shy of 7 inches. And it works pretty good, 39 millimeters, even though, these lugs don't curve down a hell of a lot. It's fine, it's a vintage looking flavor, and I think back, if you go with that, they were a little bit more crudely cut back then, but overall, I don't find it a massive big deal or gap. Similar to probably, you might be able to compare it to like a Steinhardt Ocean 1 or 39 even, right? They're both 39 millimeters, and they kind of have this sort of curved down shape, and it's rather blunt cut off here. But I don't know, some people are just so anal about having it, it has to curve down more, and so no, it doesn't. It just works fine. It's not, as long as it's totally plateauing or planking like the watch off the wrist. You got enough curvature to fill it in, and yeah, there might be a little gap, but so what? Overall it fits and works, as long as, of course, your wrist can support it. But I wouldn't write it off just because it doesn't totally like sweep down, like if that's your thing, fine, then you should be looking somewhere else. But I think that would, you miss opportunities to enjoy actually an overall pretty darn good watch. But like the handsets, this what do you call these, pencil style arrow tip. It's got a stoplight seconds, which is pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of like some of the old Seikos, like the 6105s have something similar to that. But you can see it actually, especially in actuality, I'm trying to back up a little bit, it wears quite low to the wrist, and because this dominating form is actually quite flat, and thin, that's what your eye catches a lot in terms of projecting the thickness. You don't really notice, even though it does protrude, sit proud of it. I guess this part of the bezel, and of course the crystal is a little bit higher. It doesn't really come off as like top heavy or like really like bulky or anything like that. To me, it still looks pretty cool and sleek. Focus, not on the box. Yeah. I don't know. It's a great watch. I was looking for Pepsi bezel for a while, and I was going to go with more of a homage to the Rolex GMT Master style. But when I saw this, it's like, what, this just kind of does it for me, and it's it's pretty original, and again, with only 100 made, and especially this brand being a bit of an enthusiast brand, it's not mainstream. You have to basically get it directly from Yema or the few retail sellers. You're not going to find anybody else that's going to have quite the same watch, which is cool. I personally prefer that to try to get something more obscure than something that's so like, oh yeah, I've seen that Submariner or something, which is classic and it's great to watch, of course, but just something I like in terms of having that's non-standard style, and something that's just likely no one else will have. It's like when you go to school and then you find that somebody's got dressed in the same clothes you wore, and you had that accidental twin syndrome or incident. That can be weird and awkward, and you won't get that with a watch, or at least the one that you purposely try to make sure nobody else has. Anyways, that's about it. These are pretty much all but sold out. This was for sale. I'm not going to get into why I love this watch, but there's other reasons why I decided to part with it and try something else actually. Yeah, good luck finding one. They're quite marked up, but you know in terms of price, if you can find one new. I see someone trying to sell for $2,000 on eBay, which is a bit ridiculous. This is already expensive at $1,500, but I found it worth it because of all the unique features that I kind of mentioned before. And I guess that's it. I should cut out because I think I need to go pick up a pizza. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Later. Bye.